Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to Valorant News and loads to dive into today, with sparks flying in the Challengers side in the European and also the North American region. Loads of controversy with some cheating going on in potential other regions. Whether this stuff should be considered cheating though, that is for you guys to decide in the comment section below. Very much intrigued to your thoughts down there. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. On the verge of 9k subs. I think just 30 more subs today will get the job done. I know we can do it. Let's dive straight into this then. So God Particles is a team in the, I believe, the Indian region, and they've been disqualified for a tournament going on right now for using this kind of a jet jump exploit on Haven on the C site box. Now, this is something that was discussed maybe at Champions. Was it at Champions? Or maybe it was the event before that, some last chance qualifier type thing, where Furia, I think, were getting called out for using this, and there was a question as to whether this should be allowed or whether it's whether this is abusing a bug or whether it's not abusing a bug. Now, well, we'll have a look at this quite here in a second. So is that when Moses says actually from kind of dealing with this behind the scenes, God Particles has been disqualified from VCC for exploiting a bug, the same for which OG Brothers got DQ'd as well. Now, well, Ape, Knight Rider Valorant for God Particles says the following: just wait, we have evidence of every jet in VCC using this in VCC itself. This is unfair. So they got banned for this. So this is the jump if you guys are unfamiliar with it. Without using updraft or anything, you can get on top of this box over at Haven C site. If you go on the kind of the left box, you hit the jump in a nice way. Like, you can get a jump, just get onto the corner and get on top in kind of that, well, the pre-game period when the barriers are up and all that type of stuff, on top of this box to get a nice little angle without using updraft or any of your abilities. Now, this is something which has been used before. It's no doubt. Not sure, honestly, why this hasn't been fixed if it is an exploit, but, you know, some players seem to think this is okay, some players seem to think this is not okay, but clearly in this tournament, it seems to have been outlawed. The problem is really that, the kind of, well, they're describing here in the reply that yes, yeah, we might have used this, right, and no doubt, okay, now we're getting disqualified, but we have evidence of every single other team using this as well. So what do you want to do? You want to disqualify the entire tournament? Like, you know, should this be allowed? Like, I think it's an interesting one, and Ye actually has some perspective here as well, because Ye says on the optic side nowadays, they're playing later today. We'll look at the schedule here in a few minutes time, but I'm not gonna lie, banning and disqualifying teams for skill boosts is way too harsh. That's the thing, this boost you do on your own, like, yes, it's on your own, there's no teammate that has to boost you up there, but still, it is a skill boost. It does take some practice to get used to, like, someone just can't hop in for the first time and do it. This is something you might think would increase the skill gap of the game and the creativeness, as Ye says. Kind of wish you can boost your teammates or yourself to spots. Think it, you know, increase the overall skill or creativeness in the game in general. So yeah, very interesting one. These guys seemingly, I guess they might be looking into this, right? Because the fact of the matter is, if this kind of God Particles team is getting disqualified, they're going to come out with the receipts, right, of all the other teams using it as well. Then they kind of have to go down the same route of disqualifying everyone, or you just kind of allow it, right? Which is another question mark. This also from the crew esports side. Very interesting stuff right now going on in the South American region, because I mean, as they say here in the reply, but there was a tweet that came out from a Discord group where a lot of the top teams in that region kind of used it to find scrims and stuff like this, and then, well, apparently cNed had a few words to say for some of these other players, and this is kind of the translation. It might not be perfect, but since the creation of Discord and later this practice server, which a lot of these teams kind of use to contact each other and to, well, find practice, there's a rule that says any kind of prejudice is unacceptable. Racism, homophobia, bullying, and derivatives lead to expulsion and banishment. And then, well, supposedly cNed of Crew Esports kind of, well, said something to this effect against Gamelanders Blue. Now, well, Crew, of course, replied and said, okay, we're going to look into this, deal with it, all this type of stuff. This apparently is what he said. So he said something along the lines of, like, you are the CJ of Valorant. I guess CJ referring to the character in GTA, if you guys know what I mean. So maybe there's something in that, right? Like, I guess they obviously deemed there could to be something in this, unless there's something additional to this which I haven't seen as of yet. So, well, anyway, interesting stuff. Maybe they can get this situation sorted out, but certainly some drama kicking off before we even get to the first match of the day. That was London versus Big. London win this one 2-1. Very, well, honestly impressive from these guys. Boo especially was an absolute monster. Haven goes their way. Split goes the way of Big. Breeze goes the way of London. 13-4 at the end of the day. Dominant maps, honestly, over the course of it. Then we had Fnatic versus BBL. This is a very entertaining affair. Again, Turko on Icebox. This guy's out of control. Every single time he plays this map, it's ridiculous. And then it goes to an Ascent, where BBL honestly looked like they were going to win this one. But, I mean, Fnatic really turned up in the end. They had some great moments. And, I mean, yeah, they were down 10-8 at this point, right? And they end up winning the series 2-0. Icebox goes their way 13-6. And Ascent 13-10. They win the last 5 rounds in a row on the T side. And, yeah, Brave Mystic, Boaster on this last map, certainly leading the charge. Impressive victory for these guys. Very important one as well, because, well, these teams don't play all that many games. The seeding, especially in EMEA, with only the top 3 teams in each group going to the playoffs, is very important indeed. Let's talk about the North American side. This series was fantastic. Cloud9 versus xTed. Probably kind of going into this series, I felt like, okay, wow, this might be some of the best Valorant that North America has to offer, because I believe Cloud9 probably the best team in that region right now. I think they've proved that for a little bit now. now. And, I mean, Exit were certainly going to put up a challenge. Like, and it was not easy for the Cloud9 guys by any means. A phenomenal work. Like, I mean, yeah, Second actually gets the knife kill here on Vanity, getting some, well, payback, I suppose, for a little bit earlier on. But again, Exit go on to win this game 1 here on the binds. Great work from them. And then, well, then game 2 goes Cloud9's way here on Breeze. Lots to talk about the state of the map set right now. We might talk about tomorrow or in the coming days. But, yeah, Zellsis finds a phenomenal play here with the Hunter's Fury. And, well, the judge, of course, coming to action as well here with Mitch in the sight. But yeah, the Hunter's Fury at 3k. Don't do that one every day. And that pretty much sends this series all the way to a game 3 already, where Cloud9 eventually get the job done. I mean, this is pretty ridiculous here on Icebox from Leaf. I mean, look at this kill. This poor lad Dephh is trying to hold the angle. Leaf just spins around, gets the kill, dashes away. Like, yeah, I mean, this is just pretty ridiculous how fast he kills him right here. Cloud9 end up winning the series. Was not easy by any means. It goes all the way down to the wire. Dephh actually tweets this out when it was, well, on the stream, it was at this point 12-10 in favor of Cloud9. But, I mean, Dephh tweets out 1-2, close but GG's. Sorry for the leak, because there's a delay right on the stream, so that the players can't stream snipe effectively the live official broadcast, and therefore the players can leak it if they want to. Largely, of course, this is done accidentally. But, yeah, Cloud9 2-1 over Exit at the end of it. Like, yeah, I mean, it was Leaf dominating the series again. No real surprise there. Bind goes 13-7 in favor of Exit, and then Cloud9 kind of turn up on the Breeze, and then finally on the Icebox as well to close out the series. But phenomenal Valorant being played right here by both of these teams. Very excited for how these rosters are going to progress going forwards. And another set of rosters I'm very excited about. Honestly, the North American region right now is really exciting. Like, so many teams, very difficult to call all these matchups. And well, this was another one, Rise versus Version 1. I expected Version 1 and Rise to be a great series. I thought a game 3, I thought a very close fought affair. Version 1 was so good this time around. Rise, I guess, didn't play quite to their level they did up against Optic last week. But honestly, don't want to discredit the performance of the V1 guys at all, because this new roster they've got going here is really sending them back to the glory days of when they were pretty good when Valorant first launched. They win game 1 on Breeze, they then go to Fracture, and they take this one as well. A 2-0 over Rise, not what I was expecting at all, because Rise not in the worst spot in the world, they're still 1-1, but yeah, Version 1 already storming away at the top of this group. Like, I mean, yeah, they dominated Knights just last week, Sentinels also 2-0, but arguably a far less convincing 2-0, and yeah, when these guys match up, it's going to be very exciting. Penny was a monster, as was Zellsis right here. The IGL for the team certainly showing up, 13-6 here on Breeze, and then 13-6 here on Fracture. Like, this series was not even close. Like, they've done it again. Their map win-loss right now is just ridiculous. We can actually look at it right here after these games conclude. Version 1 are now, in terms of round 4 and against, like Sentinels here, they've gone to a lot of game 3s. That's why they're 75-61 round 4 round against, despite the 2-0. But Version 1 are 52-18. Like, they're just performing on another level right now. I honestly think this Group A is, like, mega stacked, and Group B is also very interesting. So it opens some serious questions, and this is what Zellsis from the Version 1 side has to say. Sentinels, like, you know, they've got nothing going on over there, right? Because as we saw in the situation, like, right now, Version 1 are number 1, Sentinels are number 2, but, I mean, still, things could all change there. Sentinels could get the better of these guys, but right now, they look like the strongest team in this group, no doubt. They've dominated everyone they have played so far, and a good team in Rise at that, right? Like, Rise are no pushover by any means. They take them 13-6, 13-6. Really impressive stuff, and, yeah, it makes it very exciting, actually, going into these upcoming matches, because, of course, they will play Sentinels at some point. There will be a decider, potentially, for number 1 team in the group, and, well, Zellsis reckons he's going to take them out, no problem at all. Zoms, though, is not so convinced. He replies with this, less talking, more doing. Hits him with a bit of a ratio here in the replies, but, yeah, maybe the story on this one will change, because no doubt Zellsis likes to talk a bit of trash and throw some things around on the timeline, but, look, if things don't really work out for Zellsis when they play Sentinels, then, of course, I suppose Zoms might have something to say on the matter, but still, I can understand if you're Zellsis and the Version 1 guys right now, that you're very confident indeed you're going to be able to get this victory when you do play these guys, because, yeah, honestly, lights out of control. Like, that's the thing. The Group A is insane, but also Group B, like Version 1, the way they're playing right now, makes things very exciting indeed. Wanted to mention this just before we dive into today's games then, as George Getters points out, peak viewership from last year compared to this year. Co-streaming obviously having a massive difference, but obviously is impressive, right? The last year, 62,000 peak viewers for Stage 1 challenges. This year, 250k, and average viewers is way higher as well. So just great to see the growth really year on year, and of course co-streaming helping massively with that one, but still I think in general the game is certainly growing in its interest. And let's dive into the games then that are going on today. So firstly, Ethan says, this no stream tonight, going to watch all 21 maps the Guard has played so far this year, then going to DM through the night until a match at 7 PM Eastern tomorrow. So 100 Thieves versus the Guard. This is a matchup, honestly, where I'm favouring the Guard. I think the Guard are going to come out here and get the job done, but who knows? 100 Thieves in a tough spot. They're already 0-1, right? They need to bounce back here and win this series, but well, it's going to be far from easy for them. This, of course, the standings, 100 Thieves 0-1. They lost the first series they played up against Cloud9. Now they're going to play the Guard. Feels like a series they need to win if they want an easy time into the playoffs. Not going to be easy. And on the other side, it's NRG versus Optic, and this has some additional storylines. So first of all, Supermassive Blaze versus G2 in the European side, as with Na'Vi versus Liquid. Liquid also kind of need to bounce back because they lost their first series, I believe, to Gambit. So this is kind of a series where Liquid also, if they lose this as 0-2, then things get very suspect. So kind of one they have to win. Then we've got the North American side, NRG Optic. First of all, this is very spicy because if you guys are familiar with the Optic story, what's been happening with Hector Hex Rodriguez over the last couple of years, he initially sold the organization onto Infinite Esports, then they sold it onto Immortals, and in the meantime, he joined NRG as their kind of co-CEO and ran his Call of Duty team under the NRG umbrella. He since, after reacquiring the Optic branding, separated from NRG in a split which has definitely not been magnanimous. There's definitely some sort of, tension between the two of the guys, and now we've got NRG playing Optic in a game, which, yeah, that's just fantastic all across the board. I also think it's a very intense series, right? I honestly kind of feel like NRG are going to do a number on Optic today. I don't know. I feel like Optic maybe 2-1, but still, I think a close series. Then 100 Thieves, the Guard. I'm going to say the Guard win this 2-0 as well, but very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit a like button, tell us the YouTube gods this is a good video, and I was like you should see it as well, and help grow the competitive Valorant community. Thank you much as always, take care, and I will see you next time.
Divide is gonna allow him to get nice and close. Oh, okay. He's running! He's got his weapon out. They'll never expect him to be here. Oh my God, Magnum! His brain is so big. They thought they knew where he was because of the lockdown, and he just knife out sprinted it.
Look at his
to the
face.
other side.
Look at his grinning little face. He knows exactly what he did there. And just as I was about to say that, like, BBL were looking very good on execution.